I hoarded my recipes for 25 years, actually more, but I don't want to say how old I am. And it cost me dearly. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 189 of our Supersize You annual challenge. Today I'm talking about, and all this month we're talking about contribution. And today I'm going to share a tool called the 7Y tool, primarily because I do it every month. I usually do it on the 7th, but it was after videos were created yesterday that I remembered, oh my gosh, it's actually the 7th today. So today we're going to cover it because it's one of those foundational tools that if we understand our why, our reason for doing something, a reason something's important to us, a reason we need to solve a problem, and a deep-seated, tied to our core values reason, we are 99% more likely to follow through, take the actions we need to take to solve that problem, get that goal, than if we don't. And I started a new coaching program a couple of months ago, and I did not do this, which is amazing because I know to do this on every big project I'm involved in. And so I'm rectifying that today with the 7Y exercise. Why do I want to participate in this coaching program? What is it that I want to achieve in it? And etc. And if I know why, by asking myself, thank you, Green Dociosi. I've been hanging around scalers too much. Cook balls, book calls, Dean Graciosi. In January of 2020, he did a little program where he taught the 7Y exercise. He had learned it in a 6-figure mastermind that he's a part of and realized that going deeper and asking why until you get to the root cause and core of something is imperative and makes a huge difference in us understanding ourselves better and letting go of things that no longer serve us. Why? Because the vast majority of us have a whole lot of stuff rolling around in our head that we're not even aware of because it's rolling around in our subconscious, and we don't actually tap into our subconscious very often unless you do hypnosis or some other mindfulness practice, which, let's be honest, most people on the planet do not do this. They don't understand what a secret weapon it is to create what you want. So the 7Y exercise, we just ask ourselves, what do I want? Or what is the problem I want to solve? I like to focus on solutions, not problems. So if I'm asking why, and it's something outside of my control, I'm going to stop and not do that. Because I can only control me. You can only control you. So we only ever ask the 7 whys about ourselves. Because otherwise, everything else is a lie and we're just making it up. Because we don't know what the other situation the other person is involved in. So say I want to make $6K this month. I want to make $500,000 or $300,000 or $10,000 or $5,000, whatever it is for you. Well, why do I want that? Why do you want that? And the first thing that comes into your head, you pop that on the first line. Then you ask yourself, well, why do I want that? And the first thing that pops into your mind or your head, you write that down. And you do that 7 layers deep. You ask it 7 times. I've been known to ask myself 10 times or more because I know that there's more to uncover and that I'm really not at my root cause yet, my core value. And so I challenge you to do this today as one of our action items. We're going to have 2. Nobody panic. We got this. Because that'll only take you a couple minutes. If you seriously write down the first answer to each of the layers, it goes really, really fast. I can do it almost in my head, but I like to write it down when it's something important for me. So let's get back to our topic of knowledge and hoarding knowledge. Knowledge, like hugs, I said yesterday, is only good if you don't keep it, meaning you give it away and you share it freely with other people. There's so much scarcity and lack on our planet. And guess what? That's all made up in our mind too, because we live in this incredibly abundant universe. What I did following my sudden cardiac arrest is I went for a walk every day for like 8.5 years until I had a physical challenge and I literally could not walk and get out of bed, but every day. And when I was on that walk, I would make up and do different experiments. And I learned that if I gave a smile and said hello, good morning to somebody or good afternoon, whatever time of day it was, they would almost always smile back. And I realized pretty quickly that if they didn't or if they ignored it, it wasn't about me. It was about how they felt about themselves. And I took that lesson into every area and aspect of my life since, because it's such a powerful lesson. It reminds us that what we give away, what we put out, comes back to us, usually tenfold. If I said hi to 3 people and they smiled, how many other people did they go out and smile at and impact in a positive way? We do that with our knowledge. We do that with our wisdom. I was going to say, if you want my DeBruzzi Italian food recipes, guess what? I'm still hoarding them. I'm not hoarding them. They're copyright protected for a reason. But if you were interested in that, hit me up and we can talk about it. You have expertise that others desperately want. Every single one of us has a set of knowledge and wisdom that nobody but us has. And by sharing that, we attract the right people to us in our life, in our business, in our relationships, in our experiences. And it just makes everything so much better. Thought leadership and generous teachings create impact and opportunities simultaneously. Because when we're sharing things, and I learned this when I was doing a presentation, and I learned this because I shared all of the insider secrets that I'd learned in a particular industry. And out of that came 10 brand new high ticket clients. Pretty exciting. And that was another reinforcer of when you share what you've learned with other people to shortcut their learning process and their learning curve, that is extremely valuable to them. So that's pretty much all I do these days, is share information and share things that I've learned and figured out. I actually gave away some of my best secrets in that training, and it was very impactful for me because it reinforced to me the understanding, the knowing that we live in this abundant universe. And now with AI and everything, if you think just your knowledge and wisdom is going to save you, it really doesn't, right? Especially if we're just hoarding it and keeping it to ourselves. Reminds me of, and you all might be too young to relate to this, but my grandma, like most of the grandmas of my grandma age era, used to keep their recipes secret. And my sister, my youngest sister, wanted to learn how to make my grandmother's cutout sugar cookies, which she does to a T now. They're fantastic. But she literally spent years going back and forth with my grandma, trying to uncover each of the secret things that she did that nobody else did. It was interesting to watch, but it showed me that, and I experienced this in corporate America, I experienced it in the business world, I've experienced it in about every industry I've ever been involved in. There are people that are generous and givers and give freely of their information and knowledge and wisdom and share their lessons learned. And there are people that still hoard that information, and you can tell the difference in the trajectory of their careers. Those people that are open and honest and giving and sharing, advancing their careers much faster than the people that hoard their information, unless that's the culture of the organization. And then that, we always have to go with what the culture of the organization is. All right. So what are we going to do today? We are going to share something, share a piece of wisdom, a lesson learned that we've had along the way in our life, in a post, in a phone call with a friend, whatever feels low risk to you, and then see how it makes you feel after you share this, right? And don't just pick a random friend and call them up and tell them a random thing. Share something that matters so that you really get to experience how it feels to share a part of you and have that received in the way it's meant to receive. Now, if you're scared and you're hoarding it and you've got all kinds of negative energy around it, you probably won't get a great experience. But if you're open and honest and curious and excited and share that piece of information, see how that feels. Report back in the comments below. Done. And then after how did it make you feel? What impact was there of that? Like I said, did one talk, got 10 customers. That's why speaking is so important. And I am going to find a way to create a signature talk. I'm actually in a program right now that does that. All right. If I can help you in any way, what do? Reach out and ask. Otherwise, go out, make it an amazing day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.